Welcome to the podcast, everyone. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maria. We're so glad you're tuning in today.
Today, we're diving into a topic that hits home for many of us. Don't quit until you make yourself proud.
Absolutely, Alex. It's such a powerful idea. So many people start off with dreams and goals, but somewhere along the way they hit a roadblock and consider giving up.
Right. It can be tough. But the key is to remember why we started in the first place. It's all about that internal drive, isn't it?
Exactly. Making yourself proud is all about personal accountability and growth. And what's amazing is that everyone's version of making yourself proud can look different.
That's a great point, Maria. For some, it might mean finishing a marathon, while for others, it could be as simple as learning a new skill or tackling a fear.
And it's also about the journey. We want to talk about the challenges, the successes, and the steps you can take to keep moving forward, even when things get tough.
That's right. In today's episode, we'll share some inspiring stories, practical tips, and discuss how to stay motivated and resilient.
So, whether you're working on a personal project, trying to advance in your career, or just looking to grow as a person, stay tuned. You won't want to miss this.
Let's get started. Welcome back to our podcast. We're excited to introduce a new segment where we explore some key vocabulary that relates to our topic today.
That's right, Alex. Understanding these terms can really help you connect with the ideas we discuss. So let's dive right in.
Our first word is perseverance. Maria, what does that mean?
Perseverance means continuing to try and achieve something, even when it's difficult. It's about not giving up, no matter how challenging a situation may be.
Exactly. Perseverance is crucial when you're working toward making yourself proud. The next word is resilience. Can you share what that means, Maria?
Sure. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks or difficulties. It's about being flexible and adapting to challenges without losing motivation.
Love that. Next up, we have goal setting. This is an important concept, right?
Yes, it is. Goal setting refers to the process of identifying specific measurable objectives you want to achieve. It gives you direction and something to strive for.
Exactly. And having clear goals can help you stay focused. Now let's talk about motivation. What does motivation mean?
Motivation is what drives you to take action toward your goals. It's the enthusiasm and commitment you feel toward achieving something.
And without motivation, it can be challenging to stay on track. Our last vocabulary word for today is achievement. Maria, how would you define that?
Achievement is the accomplishment of a goal or task. It's the sense of fulfillment you get when you reach what you set out to do.
Perfect. So, to sum up, we've discussed perseverance, resilience, goal setting, motivation, and achievement. These words are all intertwined and play a significant role in not quitting until you make yourself proud.
That's right. Understanding these concepts can really help you on your journey. And remember, it's all about progress, not perfection.
Great advice, Maria. Thanks for joining us for this vocabulary segment. Stay tuned for more insights and stories as we continue with today's episode. Welcome back, everyone. We're so glad you're with us for today's episode about not quitting until you make yourself proud.
That's right. We've already covered some key vocabulary, and now it's time to dive deeper into our topic. So, Alex, let's kick things off. What does make yourself proud mean to you?
To me, making myself proud means setting goals that truly resonate with me and following through, regardless of the obstacles. It's about honoring my own commitments and values. I think sometimes we focus too much on external validation, but it's important to cultivate that internal pride.
Definitely. It's easy to get caught up in what others think or how society defines success. I believe making yourself proud is about understanding your own values and striving to achieve based on those rather than the expectations of others.
Exactly. Speaking of obstacles, let's talk about setbacks. Everyone experiences them at some point. How do you personally deal with setbacks, Maria?
I try to reframe my thinking. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, I view them as learning opportunities. It's about resilience, as we mentioned earlier. For instance, if I'm working on a project and something doesn't go as planned, I reflect on what went wrong and what I can do differently next time.
That's a great approach. I think it's also important to practice self-compassion during those times. It's easy to be hard on ourselves, but we have to remember that everyone faces challenges.
Absolutely. Being kind to yourself can make a huge difference. Now let's chat about motivation. Sometimes we may start with a lot of enthusiasm, but it can fade over time. How do you keep that motivation alive?
I find that breaking larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks helps. Celebrating those smaller wins keeps the momentum going. Plus, I often revisit my why, the reason I started in the first place. That helps reignite my passion.
That's a good strategy. I also like to surround myself with positive influences, friends or mentors who inspire me. Hearing their stories can boost my motivation and remind me that I'm not alone in this journey.
Great point. Community can have a huge impact on our motivation and accountability. Speaking of stories, let's share some examples of people who exemplify perseverance and making themselves proud. Do you have a story in mind?
Yes, I was really inspired by J.K. Rowling's journey. Before she became famous for the Harry Potter series, she faced numerous rejections from publishers. She didn't give up, though. She kept believing in her story and herself. That kind of perseverance is genuinely uplifting.
I love that story. Another example that comes to mind is Thomas Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His determination to invent the light bulb is a testament to how persistence can lead to extraordinary achievements.
Exactly. And these stories remind us that the path to success is often filled with challenges. It's about how we respond to those challenges that defines our journey.
Well said. Let's also discuss goal setting in this context. How do you approach setting your goals, Maria?
I like to use the SMART criteria. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of saying, I want to get fit, I might say, I want to run a 5K in 3 months. That clarity helps me stay focused.
That's a fantastic method. I think it's also helpful to regularly review and adjust those goals. Life is dynamic, and sometimes our priorities change. It's essential to stay flexible and reevaluate what making ourselves proud means at different stages of life.
Absolutely. And as much as we focus on the end goal, we should also enjoy the journey. Finding joy in the process can keep us motivated and engaged.
Speaking of enjoying the journey, let's share some fun strategies for keeping ourselves motivated. What are some of your favorite techniques?
I love to create a vision board. It's a visual reminder of my goals and dreams. I'll put images and quotes that inspire me. Whenever I look at it, I feel energized and motivated to take action.
That's such a creative idea. I often create playlists of music that lifts my spirits and keeps me focused while I'm working on my goals. Music has such a powerful impact on our emotions.
So true. I also like to journal about my progress and challenges. Reflecting on my experiences helps me see how far I've come, which is also a boost to my motivation.
Journaling is a great practice. It can serve as a reminder of the lessons learned along the way. So, what advice would you give to someone who feels like giving up on their goals?
I'd say take a step back and breathe. Reflect on why you started and what making yourself proud means to you. Sometimes we just need a little break to recharge before diving back in.
That's solid advice. I'd add that it's okay to ask for help too. Seek support from friends, family, or a mentor when you're feeling discouraged. You don't have to navigate the journey alone.
Absolutely. Community and connection can be powerful. Remember, it's okay to take your time. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress.
I think that's a perfect note to wrap up this conversation. Remember, everyone, don't quit until you make yourself proud. Your journey is unique, and every effort counts.
We hope you found this discussion helpful and inspiring.
Welcome back to our podcast, everyone. Today, Maria and I are going to share a short story that explores the theme of persistence.
Yes, this is a story about a young artist named Clara who faced many challenges but learned to keep going. Are you ready, Alex?
Absolutely, let's dive into Clara's world.
Clara was a passionate artist living in a small town. She dreamed of showcasing her work in a major gallery. But every time she gathered the courage to submit her pieces, she received rejection after rejection.
That must have been tough for her. What did she do after all those rejections?
At first, Clara felt defeated. She considered giving up, thinking maybe she just wasn't good enough. But one evening, as she was cleaning her studio, she found an old sketchbook filled with her early work.
That must have sparked something in her.
Exactly. Clara flipped through the pages and began reminiscing about her evolution as an artist. She realized how far she had come and the countless hours she had spent honing her craft. Inspired, she decided to try again.
That's the spirit. What was her next step?
Clara began to set small goals. Instead of aiming for a big gallery right away, she focused on local art shows. She entered her work and, to her surprise, was accepted into a small exhibition.
That's amazing. How did she feel about this milestone?
Clara was ecstatic. Being part of the exhibition reignited her passion. She received positive feedback from attendees, and those encouraging words fueled her drive. She thought, maybe I can do this after all.
So what did she do next?
Motivated by her success, Clara decided to feature more pieces in upcoming shows. But still, she faced setbacks. There were moments when she felt her work wasn't good enough or when she didn't win competitions she had entered.
That sounds discouraging. How did she cope with those feelings?
Great question. Clara began to journal about her experiences. Writing down her thoughts helped her process her emotions and recognize that every artist faces challenges. She would remind herself that persistence was key.
A powerful lesson. I imagine that journaling helped her gain perspective.
It did. One day, while reflecting in her journal, she wrote, "Every no brings me closer to a yes." That mantra became her guiding light.
I love that. So, did she keep pushing forward?
Yes, she did. Clara kept submitting her work to galleries. Each rejection stung less as she embraced her journey. And then, one day, she received an email from a prominent gallery inviting her to showcase her work.
Wow, how did she react?
She was overjoyed, of course. Clara felt all those past struggles were worth it. When the day of the exhibition arrived, she was both excited and nervous. But as she stood beside her artwork, watching people admire her creations, she felt a tremendous sense of pride.
That must have been such a fulfilling moment for her.
It truly was. Clara's story is a reminder that persistence sometimes takes time before it pays off. Even when the road gets tough, we can't underestimate the power of believing in ourselves.
Well said, Maria. I think it's essential for our listeners to remember that every setback can lead to growth.
Exactly. Sometimes it's the bumps in the road that teach us the most about ourselves and help us appreciate the victories even more.
And just like Clara, when we look back on our journeys, we can see how far we've come. It's all about progress, not perfection.
Absolutely. So, as we conclude Clara's story, let's encourage our listeners to embrace persistence in their lives. Keep moving forward, even when it feels challenging.
Thanks for sharing that inspiring tale, Maria. Remember, everyone, don't give up. Keep pushing toward your goals.
And as always, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time for more stories and insights.
Welcome back to the show. It's time for our Fun Fact segment, where we explore interesting tidbits related to persistence and personal growth. Maria, are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely, Alex. I love how fun facts can illustrate important concepts. Let's share some that inspire perseverance. I'll start. Did you know that Thomas Edison made over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts before inventing the light bulb?
That's incredible. It just goes to show that persistence pays off. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work."
Exactly. Here's another one. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, was rejected by over 12 publishers before finding one that would publish her first book. Imagine if she had given up.
That's a fantastic example. Rowling's resilience is truly inspiring. It highlights how important it is to keep pushing forward, even when faced with rejection.
Definitely. Speaking of resilience, did you know that the famous artist Vincent van Gogh only sold one painting during his lifetime? Despite his struggles and personal challenges, he created over 2,000 artworks.
That's a powerful reminder that success may take time and that our efforts can be valuable even if they aren't recognized immediately. Van Gogh's legacy continues to inspire people worldwide.
Absolutely. Here's an interesting fact from the world of sports. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of giving up, he practiced relentlessly, eventually becoming one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Such an iconic story. It teaches us that setbacks can fuel our determination. What a great example of bouncing back from disappointment.
Right. Now let's switch gears a bit. Did you know that bamboo can grow up to 35 inches in a single day? However, it takes several years for it to develop a strong root system before you see any visible growth above the ground.
That's a great metaphor for personal growth. Sometimes we're working hard and not seeing immediate results, but we're building the foundation for our future success.
Exactly. And here's another inspiring fact. The Chinese farmer proverb illustrates this well. When something good happens, people say it's good. When something bad happens, people say it's bad. It teaches us to embrace both our successes and failures.
That's a wise perspective. Life is all about balance and learning from both waves of experience.
A great reminder. Now, here's another interesting one. Did you know that many successful entrepreneurs, like Oprah Winfrey and Howard Schultz of Starbucks, faced numerous rejections before achieving their dream? They persisted despite the odds stacked against them.
Yes, their stories reflect the power of resilience and remind us that rejection is often just a stepping stone to success.
So true. Here's a fun fact many people might find surprising. The famous scientist Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 4 years old. His family worried about his development, but he grew up to change the course of science.
It shows how each journey is unique. Persistence in the face of challenges can lead to amazing breakthroughs, just like Einstein did.
Absolutely. And as we conclude this segment, let's remember a quote by Maya Angelou. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. It encapsulates the spirit of persistence beautifully.
What a wonderful way to wrap up our fun fact segment. Remember, everyone, your path may not always be smooth, but every step you take in pursuit of your goals matters.
Thank you for joining us. Keep embracing those small victories and pushing through challenges every day.
We all face challenges and moments where we might feel like giving up, but imagine how rewarding it is to keep going, especially when you achieve something you're proud of.
Absolutely. The journey may be tough, but the sense of accomplishment is worth it. Let's start by discussing what it means to make ourselves proud. What does that look like for you, Alex?
For me, making myself proud means setting goals and working hard to achieve them. It's not just about big milestones. Even the small achievements matter.
I agree. It's often the little victories that build our confidence and motivate us to keep going. Can you think of a time when you pushed through challenges to achieve something you're proud of?
Definitely. I remember when I was training for a marathon. At first, it felt overwhelming. I wanted to quit many times, especially during the long runs, but each time I reached a new distance, I felt a sense of pride that kept me going.
That's a great example. Running a marathon takes dedication. How did you stay motivated during those tough training days?
I set small, achievable goals for myself. Instead of focusing only on the marathon, I'd celebrate completing a certain distance each week. Plus, I surrounded myself with supportive friends who encouraged me along the way.
It's amazing how a support system can keep us going. I had a similar experience when I decided to learn how to play the guitar. At first, my fingers hurt, and I struggled to play even simple chords.
Learning an instrument can be tough. What kept you motivated to push through those challenging early days?
I reminded myself of my passion for music. Every time I learned a new chord or played a song, I felt a sense of pride that motivated me to practice more.
That's a great mindset to have. It's important to connect with the reasons behind our goals. Speaking of perseverance, did you know that some famous people faced incredible challenges but didn't quit?
Yes. One iconic figure is J.K. Rowling. She faced numerous rejections before Harry Potter became a worldwide sensation. Her determination is truly inspiring.
It certainly is. Rowling once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all." That's a powerful message.
What a profound quote. It tells us that failure is part of the journey. It's okay to stumble as long as we get back up and keep moving forward.
Exactly. Let's dive a bit deeper into the concept of resilience. Resilience is our ability to bounce back from setbacks. How can we cultivate resilience in our own lives?
One way to build resilience is by practicing self-compassion. When we're hard on ourselves, it's easy to get discouraged. But treating ourselves with kindness allows us to recover and keep trying.
That's an important point. Small self-care techniques like taking breaks or talking to a friend can make a big difference. Setting realistic expectations for ourselves also helps.
And when we set smaller, achievable goals, we can build momentum and celebrate our progress along the way.
Exactly. Let's share some tips with our listeners on how to stay motivated and proud during challenging times.
Great idea. First, I'd say to write down your goals. Making them visible can serve as a constant reminder of what you're working towards.
That's definitely helpful. Next, I'd suggest creating a positive environment. Surround yourself with uplifting people and limit exposure to negativity.
Yes, positive influences can fuel our motivation. Another tip is to reward yourself when you reach small milestones. Celebrating achievements, no matter how small, is vital.
For sure. And let's not forget the importance of reflecting on our progress. Take time to look back on how far you've come. It can boost your motivation for the road ahead.
That's a great point. Reflection helps us appreciate our journey.
So true. Now, let's talk about dealing with setbacks. How should we approach failures when they happen?
It's important to reframe setbacks as learning experiences. Instead of viewing them as failures, consider what you can learn and how you can grow from the situation.
That's a healthy perspective. Adopting a growth mindset allows us to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles.
Right. And even when the going gets tough, remember that perseverance is key. Keep pushing, and you'll find results will come over time.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up today, let's remind our listeners of the importance of believing in themselves. Self-belief is a powerful motivator that can push us through difficult times.
So true. There's nothing more empowering than having the confidence to keep striving for success, no matter the odds.
As we close out this discussion, let's encourage everyone to embrace their journey and remember that the only time you should quit is when you're proud of what you've achieved.
Yes. So don't quit until you make yourself proud.
We hope you found some inspiration in today's episode. Keep pushing forward and celebrating your progress. Welcome back to our practice segment. Now that we've talked about not quitting until we make ourselves proud, let's engage with some fun activities to reinforce what we discussed.
That's right. These activities will help you reflect on your own goals and the challenges you might be facing. Are you ready, listeners? Let's get started.
First, let's think about a goal you want to achieve. It could be related to your studies, a job, a hobby, or any personal development area. Take a moment to write it down.
Now, next to your goal, write down why it's important to you. What makes this goal special?
Great! Now, write down a few small steps you can take to begin working towards this goal. Remember, breaking it down into smaller parts makes it easier.
Now, let's identify any challenges you might face along the way. What roadblocks do you think could stop you from achieving this goal?
All right. Once you have those challenges, think about how you can overcome them. What strategies or resources can help you push through? To wrap up our practice segment, let's take a moment to visualize ourselves achieving our goals. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine how you will feel when you reach your goal. What does that look like for you?
Visualization can be a powerful tool to keep us motivated. When challenges arise, remember this feeling and let it drive you to keep pushing forward.
Exactly. All right, everyone. We hope you enjoyed these activities and reflections. Remember, persistence is key.
Keep those goals in mind and don't quit until you make yourself proud.
Welcome back. As we wrap up today's episode, let's summarize some key takeaways from our discussion.
It's been an inspiring conversation. We explored the importance of perseverance and how setting realistic goals can keep us on track, even when we face challenges.
Absolutely. Remember that it's normal to encounter setbacks. What truly matters is how we respond to those challenges. Learning to view setbacks as opportunities for growth can be a game changer.
And let's not forget the power of self-belief. When you believe in yourself and your abilities, it gives you the strength to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles.
Exactly. We also talked about reflecting on our accomplishments, both big and small. Celebrating those moments boosts our motivation and reminds us of how far we've come.
Right. And engaging in activities like identifying our goals and the challenges we might face can prepare us mentally to tackle anything that comes our way.
Before we sign off, we encourage all our listeners to take action on what we discussed today. Write down your goals, envision your success, and take those first steps towards making yourself proud.
Yes. And remember, it's a journey. Each day is an opportunity to learn and grow. So keep pushing forward and don't quit until you achieve what you're hoping for.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the podcast. We hope you found it empowering and that you're inspired to take meaningful steps toward your goals.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, rating, and sharing this podcast with someone who might need a little encouragement today.
We'll be back soon with another insightful topic, so stay tuned. Until then, keep striving for those goals, and remember, don't quit until you make yourself proud.